Welcome back to the What Does Your Mum Think podcast, coming live and direct in your ears. It's crazy how we've been named like the number one created podcast so early in our journey, you know.
It baffles me, lad, honestly.
It's crazy, isn't it? We're not even got it fully on like Spotify or anything yet. And
there's honestly, you should have seen my email inbox. Like, there's just so many newspapers reaching out, and I'm just batting them off left, right, and centre, lad. Like,
pioneering, brother. You
just don't feel like we deserve that recognition yet, so I'm not accepting it until just every New Year's time.
Yeah, 100%. So with that said, thanks to all the listeners hyping us up and bringing in the numbers. You know, it's overwhelming in a way. But yeah, but now we're good in it. Welcome back. We've not done one for maybe. I think we missed the one segment, didn't we? So we missed the two. We try and release them every 2 weeks. We missed the last one, so we're kind of like 2 weeks behind.
And we've been doing them every 3 weeks.
Is that how we've been doing it? Yeah.
We've been doing them as and when we can. We're trying to get some routine with it, and it would be great. But I mean, yeah, it's heavy, isn't it, lad?
It is heavy. It is heavy, lad. But it's good to get them in. Do you know what I mean? And
it's so good.
I think moving forward, we will try and be more consistent with it when we can. But it's just hard. Isn't it? But today we've got a good one. We've got an ass on today from UConn, repping recent graduate. I think it'd be nice to flip the script a little bit and talk to someone about their fresh out of the studies and the student journeys and all that. He's just got his first job at The Chase, which I think he's moving to London for. I think it's the Chase London studio, and he's done some great work. I did an interview with an ass when I was working at St Duckworth. And when just someone just gets it in it. When you see the first bit of work, you're like, shit, he's coming for me. I always remember saying everything was great about his work, like the ideas, most importantly. But for his level, the craft that he had and the way he made things move and the depth that his work's got, as a graduate student, however you want to look at it. So yeah, we've got him on today, and then we've got a couple of us lined up for the next couple of weeks, haven't we, lad?
Yeah, it should be good. Yeah, some big ones coming up, some fun ones. But like I said, and just to caveat what you said then, I think it's great to get Anas on because not only will it scare some professionals at the level of his work, but it's super fucking inspiring for people that are going for a uni now and maybe just come off placement or I don't know, first year or fourth year, wherever you are. I think it sets a really good standard and what is a really good portfolio, something which is full of ideas. But I just feel like just exactly what you said then, the craft and the sort of the attention to detail that he had to sort of just graduating is really high quality. Like it's super.
Yeah, it is. And the level of the way he applies himself as well, you can the skill set. He's really kind of like embraced and understood and honed. And you can do the bare minimum at uni, can't you? Get your job and then start learning in the industry. Where I feel like he's a great example of he's really kind of like taken ownership of the freedom of the time. Everyone always says that you always fucking time at uni to do X, Y, and Z, and you can do this and you can do that. But I think he's really honed in on that and owned it. And even though he's done, I'm going to get into all this, but like he did branded up all that end of year. I can't even speak today. End of year fucking degree show, and even that's great, and that shows kind of the tenacity again, and like the branding exercises. It just contextualizes everything in like a real life scenario for him. I'm stopping running my mouth. Let's get him on to speak.
Yeah, it's just chucking on. Let's see the work.
Oh.
Oh, sorry, 1 second. Hello, Louis.
No, you can turn Louis off now. Don't worry about him.
Thank you, Louis.
Thanks, Louis. Thank you very much, Louis.
What was the problem?
It's so weird. So I've connected a Sony headphones, but it said when I changed it to MacBook Pro microphone.
Yeah. Making it happen. I could kind of.
No worries.
What podcast?
Thank you for inviting me on.
Where are you?
Where,
Where are you, Anna? Where you sat?
So this is a place called Camden Art Center.
Oh, wait a second.
Uh,
Show me around.
so it's in Finchley
Bro,
Road.
I'm on Finchley Road. I live on Finchley Road.
No
I'm literally
way.
about 2 minutes. You're literally 2 minutes up the road from me. What?
No
Let
way,
me come and see you, Anas. When you finish this,
Yeah.
I'll walk
Yeah.
down. I'll come and see you. I live
Brilliant.
on the road like 2
Brilliant.
minutes away. No way. We should have done it together.
No way.
We could have made this one the flower. It's too good of a but we could have done this in person. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's fine. Don't worry. What have you got on your jumper?
I don't know what it says, but it's got some cool.
I love it, lad.
Oh, that's huge.
How's it going then, bro? How's things? How's your weekend been?
Oh, it's been great. Finished graduation last week.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It was so emotional. Saying goodbye to all the guys.
Did
But, we promised to keep in touch and stuff.
did your parents come over?
No, they couldn't because they are in India.
Yeah.
So I video called them, and they were so proud.
Oh, bless.
Oh, bless.
Oh, that's lovely, lad.
Yeah, they were so emotional as well because they haven't even been to like high school. They've only gone to like grade 9.
Yeah. No way.
So yeah,
Wow.
it's massive for them.
So a bit of background and an ask just for everyone who's listening. We introduce you on the
Yeah.
start of it anyway, so people will know who they're listening to. But
Yeah.
Anas is a recent graduate from UCLan in Preston, and he has just accepted, give or take in the past month or so, a junior role at one of the stellar agencies in the industry called The Chase. And you're out here doing it. And I think with what, and you're in London, right? It is a London studio. Yeah. Obviously, you're in London. And I think with most of these that we do in us, we always kind of naturally just take it back to the start in it. But I think with you, it's interesting because I know when we last spoke, you mentioned a couple of adversities that you faced with telling your family you wanted to be a designer. Do you know what I mean? And come up to the UK and be like, right, I'm going this way. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you don't mind, without me paraphrasing it, elaborating on your why UCLan, how you got to UCLan, and Preston, no disrespect, Michael, or to anyone, of like instead of like Manchester, London, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. So I am originally from India. I was born in India. When I was 1 year old, I moved to Qatar. So all the memories of home is basically Qatar for me. And culturally, I think I'm more. I lean more towards Arab than Indian culture. So it's difficult as well because when you go to Qatar, you're not considered actually a Qatari because the rule is you have to be born to a Qatari dad. And when you go back home to India, you're not considered an Indian as well. So I really didn't have a place to call home. But I can call London home now, I guess.
Yeah.
So I do not come from a creative background at all. So as I said, my parents went till grade 9. They were immigrants. They moved to Qatar when we're like about 40 years ago. But I've always watched like cartoon TVs, and I was always been fascinated by the animations and stuff. So I had interest in that way, and I was always been participating in like craft, DIY works. So that's how I got my interest to like creative works. And then my brother actually started using a photo editing website, and it really intrigued me. It was called pickmonkey.com. I don't know if you heard of it. And there was also a similar one called ipicky.com. It's a simple photo editing website online. So I used to edit my pictures and then post them on Facebook, and my friends would ask, hey, can you edit my pictures as well? So I would edit my friends' pictures. And in that website, there is an option called merge, where you can just use basic shapes and overlap and create logos and stuff. So I basically started creating logos and stuff for I was really young, like 13 years old. I was creating logos for my friends. We had like dance crews in schools. So for them, football tournament. So in a really small scale level, but I would just do it for passion. Like I won't charge anything. it was really difficult using that website because you have to use very basic shapes and then like overlay them, erase them, like screen multiply and all those stuff, and then you can create logos. And even if you want to cut out a background, you have to use an eraser tool and just erase it manually. I would spend 3 hours just erasing background. And now it's like there's Photoshop beta, and you click one button, and it's like boom. And I was like, damn, that's game changing. So that's how I started. And me and my best friend Wasim, so we were about 14 years old. We created a studio, it's called Fun Studio, and we created a page on Facebook, and people started sending us lots of pictures, and they were like, "Could you edit us?" So then we rebranded it and we made it like Crips Creation. And back then there was a trend where you edit pictures for people, and like for example, if it's called there was a popular studio called Darkroom, they would put their name on the top, so people want this like kind of branding, so they would just send pictures. So we actually got quite popular for like 14-year-old guys. We had about like 1,500 likes 3 days after we started the Facebook page, and we were like, wow, this is going crazy. And we started getting like logo orders, brochures, posters. So that's how I started basically. And I put together a portfolio with all the logos I made in that time. It had like about 10 of dance team logos, few football team logos, posters, brochures, and stuff. And I started applying to universities in India and Qatar. I had no idea about what abroad studies are like. And then I had to take a gap year because I had to convince my parents that creative careers are actually a thing. So it was.
So how were them conversations? So what would what's the ideal for your parents for you to have done?
So because they see me spending a lot of time on my laptop, they said, "Can you stop wasting your time editing pictures?" Because I do not make any income. So from their perspective, it's like a fun hobby thing to do.
I see. Yeah.
And they haven't. It's not their fault actually as well, because they haven't really seen anybody successful from our background who's gone to take a creative career.
Yeah.
So there's not much representation around us as well. So. I did a lots of research into what design careers are, and I knew it's like graphic design is just not logo or like editing photos in a studio. It's much more than that, like branding, brand strategy, motion design. There's so much aspects into this. So I did my own research, and then I had to take a gap year, unfortunately, after my high school, which is equivalent to college here in the UK. You're 2 years after your year 10. So I did advanced like mathematics, physics, chemistry, because there's no option to choose art. So I had to study that. And during my gap year, I went into doing, do you know what like talents and background artists are for advertisements? You like basically just walk in the background and you get paid.
Oh yeah.
We were just talking about this.
Yeah,
that's mad. Yeah, that's fucking crazy. But carry on, because we were saying about the fucking background of you, lad. Have you paid everyone who's in the background? That's mad. But yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No. So basically, in the advertisements, like every person, if their faces are seen, they had to be paid. And because it's Qatar, they pay a lot of money. So I used to work for Qatar Tourism, Qatar Airways advertisements, just like walking in the background. And I get like £100 for an hour just for walking. And I'm like, this is a good deal. So that time I met a creative director of that advertisement for Qatar Tourism. His name was Nathan Reddy, and he owns an agency called Grid Worldwide in South Africa. And he's actually a graphic designer. So he's actually one of the most award-winning graphic designer in South Africa. And we had a chat. So he said, "Are you a model here working?" I said, "Yes." And he said he's a graphic designer. So I said, "I actually do a bit of graphic design." And I showed the logos that I made for my friends. And he said, "Did you do this without any professional training or course?" I said, "Yes." So he said, "Why don't you think about doing a course in it? You can go to like Toronto Art School in like Canada, or like you could probably go to UK." And he actually suggested me a few universities. And that was the starting point to think actually like for Indian parents is basically you do an engineering degree or like a really technical degree of 4 years, and then you can do your passion, whatever, photography, graphic design, whatever it is. So
Yeah.
I thought that would be again 4 years of waste, because I felt I already wasted 2 years doing math, physics, and chemistry, which is no use for me. So I looked into art schools. I did my research. I really wanted to go to New Zealand. I applied for universities there. And during my gap year, I signed up to an agency in India. They were like a study abroad agency. And my parents were like, sign him up for like an engineering course or like IT course. But I tell them, I really don't like this course. Could you please look for graphic design for me, please? And I applied to a few graphic design and product design courses. So they mentioned for graphic design courses, you need to apply with a portfolio. And sometimes they give art scholarships, which could be even up to 100%, depending on your strength of your portfolio.
Uh-huh.
So that I thought, because it's huge amount to come and study abroad, any amount of scholarship would help. So I tried to put all together my creative process work and everything into a small portfolio, and I applied a few universities with them. And I had no clue about UCLan or their industrial connections or their like lateral top course or anything. But I had the highest amount of scholarship offered from UCLan. I got about 25% scholarship, which was £3,000 every year. So my tuition was about 12 and a half grand, but 3,000 taken from me was like £9,500 every year.
Mhm.
So it was still a good deal, you know. Like that's in total for 3 years, £9,000 reduced from your tuition.
Yeah.
So, and I wanted to take a course which had an option to do an year out, like an internship,
Yeah.
because since we're coming abroad, even if we get to go back, that 1 year of experience would be really valuable for you. So then my list was shorter when I looked at the courses with internships. And I just took UCLan. I had no idea how the courses or anything. And I came here, and the first thing like everyone asked me when I reached Preston was like, why did you come to Preston? And I was like, oh shit, did I do something wrong? And they said, did you not do your research on your city? I'm like, no, I've seen some movies, British movies, and I've seen London and stuff, but this was nothing as like I expected. And that was such a contrast, because I'm coming from Qatar. It's not really bad country because it's one of the world's richest country. And coming to Preston was such like a big contrast for me. And I then quickly went home and I searched on YouTube Preston, and all the videos were like Preston raid for weed and like top 10 dangerous cities in the world. I was like, oh no, that was really a tough thing to face. But then after the first year of conference week, um, it was just mind blowing. It changed my perspective a lot. Like agencies like Turner Duckworth, they were speaking about like unmistakability in their branding, and it just opened my interests to a way broader level as well. Because I thought there's so much you can do inside graphic design. So that's how I really got into UCLan. And the first year was super difficult for me because that's when my dad lost his job back home. So he initially promised me to help me with my tuition, but he couldn't. So I ended up actually having to support them. So the day actually I came into the UK, I walked into this takeaway. I felt so lucky since I came to this country actually. I just walked into this takeaway and I was like, do you have a part-time job? And they were like, yeah, you can start tomorrow. And that was crazy for me because when you're like living with your parents until you're 18, you don't have to think about what to eat. Like food's ready, mom will be like, food is ready. But after coming, you're like, oh man, what should I have for like? I should figure out what's the next 3 meals. Like just figuring out what to cook and what to make, and you have to like plan your whole life. But getting there, I was like, damn, I get free food, like free burgers and pizzas every day. I don't have to, you know. I have like free kebabs, unlimited food. And they actually gave me an accommodation on top of their restaurant for £150 a month,
Wow.
which was crazy. So I had literally no cost for food, no travel cost because it was just 5 minutes up the road in Planchington Road, and I had no expenses basically, so I could save everything I made from there towards my tuition and supporting my family.
Wow.
So, but I had really limited time to focus on uni, and my like tutors like Andy was always sad that I wouldn't come into class often. But I wish I could tell them, but I couldn't really tell them as well because I was scared if the university knows that I'm working a lot, I would be in trouble as well. So I was actually working 10 to 11 hours of shift 6 days a week. I get one day off, I go into library, and even when I finish shifts at like 12 o'clock in the midnight, I would run to the library and I'd be doing my work. I'd get like physically exhausted after the job, and I'd feel like I would fell asleep at the library, and the security is like comes to call me, and we are like best friends. I went to visit him when I finished the course, and he was like, it's amazing to see that after 4 years you've finally like done it. He's been through with me all this journey. He'd wake me up and stuff. So in that time, I think it's also kind of a blessing because you are kind of forced to think within a short span of time, and you're limited to with a lot of stuff. So I thought it really helped me to work within like so much pressure and like very limited of time. But my first year was really bad. And then in second year, I knew I had to pull together a good portfolio because we're going on placements like the year after. So I saved up a lot working over the holidays, and then I told them I'll work 4 days a week, 3 days a week. I'll focus on uni. So I reduced my working, and then I started focusing on uni work. And since like I started getting tutoring from Andy, all my projects went really well. I always trust Andy's guidance because he knows a lot about what industry works like and everything. So it was really helpful for me that time. And my first project I remember was doing a Creative Connections poster for the darts tournament. Um, and that project was actually really successful. It actually helped me a lot. I sent that poster to Stephen Sagmeister.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's pull this up on us.
This is a great. You're good at podcasting, Lewis. Can you pull up, please, the little shamrock? I don't want to give away the idea, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, this is lovely. This is really nice. And again, the
thank you.
Yeah, this is great. Yeah, talk us through this, bro. I know it ended up coming about.
It was my first project in second year. So it was like a Creative Connection poster, the basic thing. Like you get 2 lists from university. You got to pick 2 things from each list and make a creative connection between them. So it was so funny how I actually came with this idea because the day before I was working in the restaurant, I was supposed to come with a presentation for a research document, and everyone in class was like having like a 60-page research. I was like, oh my God. So I quickly sketched a few ideas in a paper. I just took a picture of it and posted it on Teams. And like we pulled it on the screen, and Andy said, that's actually a quite good idea. You should focus on that. And I was like, I just focused on that idea. I had 3 other ideas. So I just focused on that, and within a week, it became this project. So it was just simple idea of I knew that a darts tournament there's something to do with luck, and with St. Patrick's, obviously, it's something to do with luck as well. And then I researched and I found in a darts tournament you get 3 chances, and in a shamrock there's 3 leads, and that was like, boom, that's done. It was a simple idea, like quickly executed.
You know what's crazy about this as well, Anas? It looks like such a UCLan idea and such a jazz idea. The execution, just everything about it is. And again, like you're saying, if you were really pushed for time, it's like such a simple execution as well. But it really embodies UCLan and the chairs, like just in that poster.
Yeah.
So was this the kind of like penny dropping moment with the ideas kind of approach to it, and that kind of like 1 + 1 = 3, like the connections? This is where that cog kind of, because work is very built off the ideas, you know, that again, why we love your work.
So I was always being like an idea person as well before I joined the course as well, which is something I really love about this course. Like when you when you look at portfolios from other universities, and even when you work with other studios, you understand like not every studios really go for an idea. Some goes for like what are market trends, what's working at the moment and stuff. So that's something I consider as a blessing going to UCLan and having to work at Chase, which is like a continuation of work studying at Preston.
Yeah.
We always embody the idea first thing.
Yeah, I love that. So then after that, then that second year, he's similar. Funnily enough, similar to me, like the first year, my portfolio was like whatever. The second year, I was like, right, I want to get to London. I want to get the TD. I want to do this. So I'll try and tie it up best I can. And then the penny dropping for me. And again, we're speaking about your work again. You've got the threads. We'll get to that. We'll get to it, but like it was definitely like the last year. But even with that, like I was like the man on the wall sometimes. You know what I mean? But that clarity you have after being in the industry and understanding it's not heart surgery.
Yeah.
And that what I mean, it's always trying to do that St. Paddy's ad, but then on a different level in it. Do you know what I mean? It's understanding like that's like. They become like little ideas underneath a bigger umbrella of an idea, So it's kind of like, that was the thing I needed to work out. It was like, instead of like stretching myself too thin over the little ones, like nailing that big one, and then all these bloody lovely little ones fall out of that big one. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, but it's like which comes first, and it's like the chicken or the egg in a way. Like what do you understand what's what? So your placement year, was it the Chase you was at just for 12 months then?
No. So I started with Purple actually, a couple of months. That was my first placement.
Yeah.
And then I went to Interstates for 3 months.
Yeah.
Straight after that, and then that's when I sent this darts poster to Steven Sagmeister. He shared it on his Instagram, and I remember that was the day actually. Actually, the day I came into London for the first time for the Purple interview, I was just in the King's Cross, Euston station, and it was 8 a.m. I was so sleepy. I was scrolling my feed, and I saw my poster, and it says Steven Sagmeister.
Oh my God.
I was like, no way. and I see lots of notifications on my Instagram, on my email. And all the people who interviewed me a placement, they were like, "Hi Anas, how are you doing? Have you signed up for anything yet?" It was so crazy. Like, I finished all the interviews a while ago. I didn't hear back, but after Stephen Sagmeister shared it just changed my life completely. So I heard back from NB Studio then. So I did after Interstate, I went to NB Studio. So that they contacted me on Instagram and they said, "Are you a graduate or are you second year student looking for internships? So do you would like to come for an interview?" And we went for like a small pub interview. I showed my portfolio and they liked it. And I started 1 month there, and then I went on to do another month. And after that, I went to do 6 months at the Chase. I was initially supposed to do at the Chase Manchester, but I really loved London. So I was looking for reasons to stay in London, and they were actually like, "Actually, we have a branch in London." I was like, "Boom, I'll take it."
Nice.
So, but I didn't stop after my placement year. So when it ended, they actually really needed someone as well. So they asked, "Would you like to still continue with us?" So along with my coursework in final year, I was doing part-time with the Chase in London.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Yes, I never stopped. I just continued.
You really do not stop, like you've got, and that's what I love as well. And I was saying, me and Michael were talking about it before we jumped on. It's like it feels like you've really kind of like, even though I don't know how you fucking done this, but like it feels like you've really kind of like made the most of the kind of time you do get at university to hone in on all your skills, whether it be understanding branding and how you tear up the little ideas and the big ideas, making stuff move, even because I've seen where you took even the darts one, I've seen how you started animating that and making all them come in. Feels like you're always trying to take it to that next level, which is really nice,
Considering the amount of time that you've had as well, like understanding more about your story now. I was following along, and I'm sure Christian was nodding as well, thinking, we come from backgrounds where our parents are creatives, and we're from up north, where like it's sort of working class, and when you say to someone, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do design," everyone sort of laughs at you and mocks you, and like, "No, you need to get a proper job. You need to I need to go and do removals with my dad." And Christian was working in a bar, and it's like that. That's just the normal thing. But then when you started getting to the situation with your dad, and then you're supporting your dad whilst doing your work, I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, man! Like you've been through quite a rough time. Like such a responsibility for such a young adult. And obviously, you're apart from your family and trying to deal with all of that whilst working in a takeaway to earn the money, and then still pulling out the quality work. Most people would find a million excuses why the work wasn't good enough, and what you've done is you've flipped that on its head, and like, what was everybody else's excuses in uni?
In it.
To be honest, my final year didn't go really well, because when I started final year, I even though I was working part-time 20 hours with the Chase, I still had the kebab job as well on top of it. So it was 2 jobs plus coursework, and it was actually a bit of struggle, because your first project in final year, you get the industry briefs, and 4 companies come up and they give you briefs. So because at that moment I wasn't assured any job or anything, so my idea was, if I do more than one industry project, that's more chance to interact with those companies and get a job and start able to. So I took up 3 of those projects, and actually, so I started it well. I had good ideas, but then at some point I was stretching myself out too much that I wasn't able to finish any of it, and then I got workload from both workplaces as well. So I had to finally just submit one project, and it wasn't like a test project as well. So Andy was a bit disappointed. So he mentioned, just do one project and do it really good. But at second semester in final year, I had either 2 options. Either I work really hard at the uni and stop every work, or I work really hard for the Chase and get a job. So I went with the second route.
I mean, I think that's so. Wow, that's so reflective and us. Because again, it's like we're designing it. You're doing it. You want to do everything, I guess, and you want to. It's hard to tighten up at times, and me and Michael have this conversation all the time, isn't it, Michael? And I know what's going in your head when he's saying all this. Do you know what I mean? It's what we pulled up on a podcast not so long ago, isn't it? And it's that kind of like, what is it? What was the saying? The jack of all trades. What is it? What was it?
I'm going to pull it up. Yeah. I don't want to butcher it.
I think it's like the jack of all trades is master of none or something.
No, but there's an end bit what no one knows. What Michael.
Oh yeah.
Which I only discovered a few months ago, and so it's a jack of all trades is a master of none. So that's usually where it stops, right?
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one, and that's by William Shakespeare. So yeah, I guess he's saying that. Yeah, a master of all. You don't want. We always get told like, don't spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
Those people that just do one thing, like you're looking at your work, like the way you approach animation and stuff like that. People neglect that, and I think that's so exciting to see. But yeah, going back to where you're going, Christian, I guess it's like this. So that in this moment of time where you're trying to spread yourself thin,
it's
not 4 projects, then that's not use. That's not use of this sort of phrase, is it?
No, it's like and like no, it's not. But it's what made me remember that. It's like it's almost being able to catch that and being able to then make that amend on the next. Why you've still, you know what I mean, at the time.
Yeah,
I think it's amazing, right? It's like never fear the man or female, man or woman. Sorry, who knows 1,000 kicks. Just worry about the one. It does a fucking one kick 1,000 times, and so I think there's a beautiful harmony in the both, because especially when you're at uni and you've got all these DNA debriefs there, and you might want to scan over them and be like, I fucking got it, and I'll whip it up, and that's it, fuck it, we'll do that one by the off chance, yeah man. And if for anyone listening to that I would say look at all the briefs, and if you get that moment where it's a quick solution or whatever, and you think, you don't need to spend so much time on it, do it, get it out there, do it, just do it. But I think having one what you can give your all to, and it's like, right, I identify with this brief, this is what I want to do, whether it's branding, whether it's this, you know what I mean? I can see myself getting a nice thing into this. Let's go balls deep into this one. Do you know what I'm saying? Pardon the phrase.
Yeah.
Jesus. Lewis, pardon. Take that out, Lewis.
You can take that part out as well, where he politically corrected Bruce Lee's quote. Because that's what he said.
What did he say? What did he say?
You said, you fear the man or woman who
All right. Well, I'm bringing it in 2023, bro. Fucking hell, lad. But yeah, Jesus Christ, we proper hashed that, didn't we? But what I'm saying is, I think it's great to conclude on it. Do you know what I mean? To catch it and then not keep doing it on your next project and listening to Andy's feedback and being like, right, Anas, you're fucking really good. Do you know what I mean? Just apply this to one bit of thinking. Stop fucking sucking yourself in, and you'll get more out of this than you will. Once, you know.
That's something I felt had to rework as well. Like, it's hard to be like working on your time management and decision making and project management. So there's so much more for me to learn and master. But it's an exciting journey.
Anas, your time was almost managed for you, because like once you've been to uni, once you've finished doing the work at the chairs, once you've finished working at the takeaway, you're like, okay, I've got an hour to work and probably an hour to sleep as well. So actually, your time management was probably easy.
It's really admirable, you know, and it goes. Crazy. Yeah. Like I said, I knew bits from when we last time spoke, but not that in depth. Well, good for you, man, and like I said, congratulations on the job.
Thank you so much. I look forward. So it's not easy because I'm an international student, and obviously I had to get the sponsorship thing. And Chase assured me with the sponsorship. So I've applied for my visa. I'm hopefully waiting for my results.
Man, fingers crossed. Yeah, nice. I'm sure we'll be all good.
Are you sheltered there, Anas? Because I can just see the rain come in. Just making sure. I know you're 2 minutes up the road.
It's like a bit of showering, but it's all right.
It's sure? It does come down thick and fast. Please tell us, don't sit there underwater. Right.
There's like a tent right here.
Oh, nice, great. That's awesome. I think let's get into some work then. Do you know what I mean? We can pull up some projects. So thank you very much for taking us through that, lad. That was great.
No worries.
Right, pull us up a project, Lewis, if you don't mind.
Yep. So this was a year 2 project for a branding project, the first branding project that we taken, and it was to create a brand identity for a swimming or surf apparel brand. The main idea was that the fabric is used from recycled ocean plastic. So if you go to the next slide, Lewis. So my whole idea was based on the recycled fishing nets, because that's like a major threat to the marine life. And I did more research about it, and I realized turtles are like the major. They have the major threat from fishing nets because they always get trapped in these things. So I looked more about turtles, and I found turtle was the national animal of French Polynesia, and it's known as Honu in Polynesian language. So that was the name for the brand. And so the idea was, we are turning these fishing nets into fabric, and hence helping these poor turtles from getting entangled on these nets. And I looked more into Polynesian culture, and I found that surfing was actually started in Polynesia as well. So which connected really good with the idea, because it was all based on the Polynesian idea of sea turtles, surfing, and Lewis, if you go to the next slide. So that was the identity connection. So there's an hexagon in the fishing net, the hexagon in the sea turtle shell. So that was the main identity for the entire brand. And next slide, Lewis. So that was the logotype, which was made from the hexagonal shapes. Honu. Next slide. And I made a display type from that to extend it for more than a logo type to create like a unique display type from the hexagonal shapes. Next slide. So that was the color palette, which is just really simple, minimalistic. That's the first color is the color that you get when you recycle the fishing nets, the without any color dyes in it. So the natural color. It's so I would really wanted to show that we're standing really true to like sustainability and stuff. And the second color is the color of fishing nets when it's laid in ocean for a long time.
Nice.
Next slide, please. So I found out that actually the art of tattooing was also started in Polynesia, and every tattoo tells a unique story in Polynesian culture. So that was really the main idea of the brand. So I wanted to tell the brand story through the tattoos and place them on the wetsuit. So if you look on the right side, in the middle is the turtle symbol, and around it is the protection symbol, and then around it is the danger symbol, and then the people. So basically, it's telling the story of the turtle being protected by the danger caused by humans. And if you go next slide. So I placed it. How would it actually be placed for in a tattooing culture? So for the men is the right chest, and the females do it on the left chest in the Polynesian culture. Next slide. Yes. So that's the men and women's wetsuits. Next slide. So that's more of an extension of the brand accessories. So using the hexagonal shapes for the packaging made out of paper and the tags as well, and applying the tattooing onto the surfboard, and how they would actually do the head tattoo for the swimming caps.
Nice.
Next slide. So that's like the tone of voice, just the reuse, reduce, recycle, just taking a bit forward. So everything's like starting with the prefix of like rescue, recover, recycle, regenerate, repurpose, and redesign. That's the process. And even the brand ethos, like we rescue turtles and we recycle fishing nets, we reinvent plastic, reimagine possibilities, reduce carbon emissions, and redefine the future. Next slide. So that was how the website would look, showing the process of how we rescue the fishing nets and how we recover them and recycle them into pellets, and then we regenerate them into thread, and then repurpose into the fabric, and then redesign with our tattoo designs. And next slide. And that's again simple, minimalistic way of showing the products on the website.
Nice.
Next slide. Again, social media showing like on the highlights our brand ethos and stuff like that. Next slide. So again, for the merch, rather than just like badging, I wanted to have a little idea in them. So I used like for the gift card is rescue, recycle, and redeem. And for the water bottles, I used the water hydrate tattoo symbol around the water bottle, and it says rethink, recycle, and rehydrate. And even on the bag, I used a protection symbol because we used to store stuff. So it's like reuse, recover, and restore. Next slide. That's like an idea to show how, as a brand, we are actually doing something for the environment, how we are actually turning the thread to thread. So it will be like a cutout, and when you place them these in like fishing ports and like beaches, when it's being filled, you actually see the process of it being turned from thread to a thread. Next slide. I think that's everything in that project.
That's insane, and that's every touch.
Thank you.
Every touch point. When you're going through it, and you get to the swimming cap, and I'm thinking, what's the rationale behind that? And then just everything is so tight. Back to the tattoo, the way you're using the typography, the language, and the cleverness of the copy, and this shape which is running for every. There's so much thought gone into every single piece, every single detail.
It was actually a year 2 project. This is what I showed in most of my placement interviews as well.
Did you relook at this after year 2, or is this?
No, I really wish to, because I had a really interesting thought on this, because um, surfing was introduced in Olympics in 2020, and in 2024 it's going to be the second time surfing is introduced, and it's
Yeah.
actually going to be in Polynesia, and where the surfing is going to be. So I thought it would be an amazing idea for a campaign idea. So I could actually pitch it before time. So I thought to maybe people get viral on like TikTok and Instagram Reel where you do like, hey, I did this concept on this, and it just goes viral, and you never know if it gets picked up or not. But
that's crazy, because when you started to talk on this project and you were like, this is a second year project, in my head I'm thinking, okay, maybe you came up with the idea in second year, but obviously after you've had all your placement time and you've had all that experience, then he's obviously gone back to it and readdressed it, and that's why the finished product is so tight now. But
no.
touched it since then. Like that's amazing.
I actually showed it in my degree show as well, because it was one of my favorite projects. So the portfolio that I put in the degree show for this project was the same portfolio that I took for my placement interviews. I didn't change like anything. I think this project was well framed even before boot camp. So I finished it before boot camp in year 2. This was one of my favorite projects that I really put so much. I spent a lot of time researching and creating that idea first before executing it. And I did get like a highly commended entry for Creative Conscience on this project for the campaign idea of this.
Nice. Love it.
It really helped me through all my placement interviews as well, this project.
Yeah, it just shows that depth. It shows that depth and that whole thing in it. If it doesn't spread, it's dead. And when even what Michael said, like adding the rationale so coherently, and it's not slap and stick. What obviously we pride ourselves in as designers, we don't want to be slapping logos on things and calling it a day. And on that, you can see the narrative and the story and the findings when you're like, then I found out about the tattoos and then did this and then that's got reason for being there, and it's like, you can't argue with it,
It's like the typographic approach. Oh, sorry, that siren just went past me 2 minutes ago. I thought, that's in a minute.
So you must be living that side. Are you next to the Finchley Road station?
Yeah. I'm going to come and see you in the podcast, don't worry. What I was going to say is the typographic approach that you took as well, the cleverness of the copyright and the rethink, rehydrate, like all this stuff. People would stop at that and it's like, okay, that's my brand idea, that's it, finished, that's the idea done. But the depth of that project, going back to the hexagon in the nets and the turtles and then the Polynesian tattoos, and there's just so many threads to it. It's really
thank you.
It's great. So it's great to set the levels as well for other students listening to understand. Again, like a couple of portfolio reviews I've done recently. I feel like they've not grasped this just yet. Do you know what I mean? And it's kind of what I was trying to get across. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Obviously, with other examples that come to mind on the calls, but I think this is a great example again from a student, when a graduate, bloody junior designer, his mouth instead of my mouth. You know what I'm saying? It can. I think people look at it like, oh yeah, but you've been in the industry doing it. Do you know what I mean? But it can be done just as well. You know. The level of, I think once you get it, don't you? And you just apply it. You know.
I think it also comes with experience as well. Like when we see a lot of projects and stuff.
Of course, like that. Obviously, that process is going to get tighter, and your skill set's going to get tighter, and your thinking is going to get tighter. But naturally, do you know what I mean? Like you're going to be chipping away at this. You've just entered the industry. To chat to you in 5 years' time, and you'd probably take a completely different approach. I had in my second year, that being a second year project for you, So again, context for any students listening. Next to an ass is I had this Blackpool fucking ice cream festival, and my god. If Andy Bainbridge is listening to this, he probably still has nightmares about that. I had fucking Blackpool ice cream. It was super simple, man. I just remember this. I just did the top of the fucking ice cream looking like a bee. Simple. And then I started making characters out of that bee. you know what I mean, like little like kind of like the dumb ways to die kind of character kind of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
in that kind of thing.
Nice.
But
Oh
bro,
wow.
it would just not fucking click. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't, like it just wouldn't, and I'd be banging my head off a table, and even now, like looking back, I'm like bloody hell, Jesus! Like, but when it like said after the place when you're even coming back, that was my thing. Like you have to go into your TDs and stuff like that, and understanding like again what I said before, like where you get all them little ideas for the head cap. That all
Yeah.
that you can't get there without establishing the first few pages, you know, and
True. Yeah.
and pushing things. I think that's great. If you could, Lewis, pull up the. Is it Omi? What's the other one you sent through?
Sorry.
Oh, both of you.
Yeah.
Omi. Is it Omi?
Oh, Omo.
Omar. Sorry, I've only I'm just going off my head here. Bring the other big one up, Lewis, and I think I want to finish with the pressed on one. I want to finish that. I think I will finish with that. Yeah, this one, great, bro. Is this a good place to start? And us?
Yeah. So this was a DNAD project. Again, it was like second semester started with DNAD, and we get like 18 briefs to look at, but then the tutors reduce it to about like 5 briefs. But I was reading all of them, and sometimes when you read some briefs, you get this like first thought, and you think, oh wow, that's really cool. You will feel like you're gonna regret if you're not gonna do it. So I picked like about 3 briefs, and I had like really good ideas, and I was so like stressing out because I didn't have enough time to execute it, and I thought, because I shared those ideas with my creative director Mark in Chase as well, and he said as well, you should actually go forward and do it. So I think I talked more to my creative director than Andy or other tutors in uni, because I always have like work calls with him. So this was a brief from Omo. The difficult bit for this was it was a copywriting brief, and English is like my third language. So it was a really difficult challenge for me to take a copywriting brief.
Don't stop on us. Carry on.
So it was difficult, understanding copywriting, because I've never attempted a copywriting stuff. So the brief was basically come up with words that would inspire the world to dream. And you know how they have like dirt is good, which is like the Omo and personal thing. They want to push it forward by saying dream and dare. So it's the same idea, but dream and dare without getting any fear of getting dirty. So my idea, you had 3 markets to choose from. So you could choose Surf Excel, which is Indian market, or you can choose like Persil for UK or Omo for the rest of the Europe. So because Surf Excel is something we've known all our life because I was from India. So I chose that market, and my idea was dirt is just not physical in India; it's also in people's head. And what can a detergent brand do about that? So the idea was to choose like women in sports, women in science, people who do not identify as male or female, like trans people. It's like a very big thing to Indians that they couldn't accept trans people. So I chose the first transgender police in India. And so that's the Wipeout crime, the second one. So the first one is Paint Outside the Lines, which is an Indian artist who uses an art to challenge patriarchy in India, and like perform Spotless, which is the third one, which is a non-binary dancer in India, and she just so they want to inspire gender diverse representation in India and like art and culture. The fourth one is Leave a Mark. So all these headlines, my idea was to use idioms which has double meaning, like leave a mark, like you can leave a mark in the world, but to leave a mark as a scientist, you need to get marks in your lab coats while working in in the laboratory doing experiments, trying over and again, and like keep a clean sheet. To keep a clean sheet, you actually need to get dirty as a goalkeeper, because you need to you dive in and get all those dirt in. So that was so keep a clean sheet. That's the first Indian goalkeeper to play for English Premier League. So she was a goalkeeper for West Ham United, and so I wanted to show the stories of these 5 inspiring people. So I didn't end up winning a DNID, but I got an email from them saying I was in like the top 25% of the entrants, and they said me the judges really liked the polished art direction and the short copy, which was these ones, but they mentioned my long copy was not strong enough to win a pencil. But I thought it was still a great try. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did actually an animation for it. There was like a 1-minute video.
Lewis, do you want to pull that one? Louis. I stress him out in the background and ask.
No,
I give him bare stress. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Achieving your dreams require taking risks and getting your hands dirty. Just like a scientist experimenting to make a mark in the world ends up with a lab coat stained with marks, a football goalkeeper keeping a clean sheet requires getting dirty from playing, and a dancer's spotless performance can result in spots on their dress from sweat. Don't let those challenges discourage you from pursuing your dreams. Surf Excel's powerful cleaning formula is designed to tackle even the toughest stains so you can focus on what truly matters, your dreams. We see every mark, dirt, and spot of sweat as a sign of progress and achievement to be celebrated. That is why we are celebrating the stories of extraordinary individuals who embrace the dirt and persevere through life struggles, becoming shining examples for others to follow. Visit our Instagram channel at Surf Excel India to be part of this inspiring moment.
So there's another bit coming. That's the main submission.
Right, okay.
Dreams and daring to break free. At Surf Excel, we'll help you clean the real dirt so you can focus on what truly matters, your dreams. Meet Pritika Yashini, India's first transgender policewoman. She dared to dream big and got her hands dirty to challenge societal norms, transforming India one dream at a time. At Surf Excel, we believe that dreams are meant to be chased no matter how dirty they may seem. Join us in celebrating Pritika's journey and let's pledge to fearlessly dream and dare to make a difference. Surf Excel's powerful cleaning formula ensures you're always ready for the toughest challenges, just like Pritika. So go ahead, dream big and dare to pursue your passions. With Surf Excel by your side, nothing can stop you from achieving your goals. Join us in celebrating the stories of extraordinary individuals like Pritika who embrace the dirt and persevere through life struggles on Instagram at Surf Excel India. Surf Excel, dream and dare, because dirt is just an opportunity to shine.
That's so cool, Anas. I love how you've done the first video, which obviously shows off all the graphics.
Yeah.
And then the second one, obviously, it's got that emotional touch to it. Like,
yeah.
Again, you just get it, and the way that you've took that really shit mark that they've got, and how you just what you were saying before, the turn it up with approach is like, how do you use that and make that unmistakable?
Yeah.
And then obviously, like you said again, you said English is your third language, and then now you've understood that double entendre, that play on words, which is a very witty thing to do with British language, and to just understand that, and it just clicks in your head. Like, I don't know what to say. Really good.
Thank you. It was crazy because I was actually working on a different brief for a Google's, which I was really wanted to submit. But then I got on this, and I asked my friend in India to voice over it.
I was just going to ask you who's the voice.
Yeah, I actually helped her kickstart her career. So after she did that, she was actually like, I think actually I can do voiceover. I was like, yes, you should. And she started like a Fiverr account and everything.
Nice. You know what I mean? Come on. That's sick. Yeah. Love it. Really.
So I did this project in like 1 week time, in the last week before handing. and it was so quick because I took 1 week off from chase work and the kebab shop work just to do this. So I had like 1 full week just on this.
I think that's great as well for any students listening and stuff like that, because it's like, I think it's so daunting at times to think that year out in industry helps that, you know, like the pace that you work at, obviously, but just like if you're not, you know, it's not over till it's over, innit? So if you've got an idea there 2 days before submission and you fancy a 48-hour night, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's do it. Me and Michael did the same. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's 100%, bro. It's make your own luck.
On D&AD,
Yeah.
So the idea I did, I didn't win D&AD for the brief, but the person who won the brief had the exact same idea as me. But the problem I had is I had too much time probably, and I was too confident that it was right, and it was completely wrong. I didn't work up until the last minute. I was like, yeah, I've got the idea, I bagged it. And the idea that won was the exact same idea. It was just executed so much nicer. They'd used illustration. It was really beautiful. That was a really big learning curve that, again, like the ideas are good and important, but that execution as well is super important. It's like you say, if you've had a week there, and the amount of work that you've done in a week, obviously all the animation, the voiceover, like getting your friends to do the voiceovers, trying to find what that big idea is, all the typographic, the copywriting exploration around that. You know, like you say, like you just said then as well, Christian. And when we did that YCM brief at the end, it was I learned a lot from that process of like it's not finished until it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
crazy, yeah.
I love it. Right. Let's finish on one that takes us all back to P-Town.
Yes.
So you branded up the degree show, right? This is the best place to start. Do you want to start somewhere else? Should we start with a video?
No, that's the right place to start. Yeah. So basically, it all started. So we had all these annual meetings since the starting because we wanted to do like a degree show. Because the year before, we had a degree show, and the year before was the COVID one. So, like Andy wanted to make this really big. So I really wanted to be part of this, and I kept telling them like I'd really love to take up this thing, but again I was juggling multiple stuff, so I didn't really have time for this. So we as a class we came up with ideas and we started voting on stuff. So one of our classmates, he came up with the energy crisis thing because we have energy crisis at the moment in the UK, and I came up with a similar idea of matchsticks, like making a spark, and everyone actually voted for my idea, but I really liked this, so I took up this idea and I thought, we have an energy crisis, so why don't we frame ourselves as an energy company, because we have abundant energy with us, so we would like to offer the surplus energy that we have to the industry and like power the creative houses. So I looked at few energy companies, the big six, like EDF and stuff, and I saw Eon Energy, and I was like, "That's it." You know, it was like a quick idea as well. And so I just took up their font and made Eon to Preston, and so we were like, "We are Eon, we are Preston Energy," and so I recently in that time I came up. So I knew about NFC technology. I know it's been around for like so long, but I only knew it very recently. So I thought we could send like an NFC card, and people could just tap down their phone and would take directly to our Preston website. So I built a website first for our degree show, and then we created this letter and we ordered some plain NFC cards on Amazon, which is like 30p each. And then we created vinyl stickers and we stick the cards. So it says top up card. And Eon actually has like a really fun branding for their new brand, which is called Eon Next. So we just took their branding and just had a twist on it. They actually have like 5 different characters. So we created our own character with the bulb, because bulb like stands for idea, and that's like our little character. So we send out these letters to most people in the industry, and it actually was really people really liked it. They like posted a story and everything. It got a bit of attention that way.
Yeah, no.
You can go next slide. So I did. So I bought a camera for this, and we had like headshots taken, and it was like to show like an employee kind of vibe. We're all like creative energy workers, and we all have different energy types to offer to the industry. Next slide. So I created like Instagram account so to get more like a bit more exposure, and like created everyone's profiles and like a bit to know about them, like um, a bit of background story and their favorite projects in uni and stuff like that. Next slide.
You look proper legit there, Anas.
I look like a proper energy worker. So this was the top-up card basically. So it says Preston Creative Energy top-up card. Simply tap your smartphone on this. So it was actually really
Sweet,
yeah, it actually stunned a lot of people, even though the technology has been around for very long. All you have to do is just tap the card on the top of your phone, and it just directly takes you to the website.
Oh, it's sweet. Yeah, it's really nice.
So I created some more Instagram content, like we are pressed on, the show is on, visit our energy showcase, celebrating our energy saving wins, and stuff like that. Next slide, please. So I created a website. It's just preston-graphics.com, and it's like a simple interface similar to an energy company, and then you click on each person and it takes to their work straight away. It was also like a quick turnaround. I did like the branding, photography, art direction, quickly created a website. Thankfully we were able to pull it on time. But I thought that was like a fun project to work on. Yeah,
it's really a UCLan idea. Again, super UCLan.
Yeah, so I was working on my final, like the big project, and I didn't have much time to work on it, so I just jumped on this and did this as like the main big project.
Just jumped onto it. Do you know what I mean? That's really good, and I love how you've made it into a thing that you can really put into your portfolio as well. Do you know what I mean, Michael?
Yeah.
Just keep the ship sailing. I just need to get the door. Someone just rang the door. 1 second. Uno momento, people. Apologies.
No worries.
That's why I had to shut it.
Yeah, nice. It feels the pressed on idea. I quite like how it also sounds like pressed on. It's like you pushing the button and you're turning things on.
Yeah,
it's like almost like hidden message in it.
Yeah, so we actually did a show reel. So my classmate Nilesh, so he helped me with the show reel. So he did a show reel starting with how we switch on and then the on comes, the pressed on.
Oh, nice.
It's actually on YouTube. I can send you the link here.
Yeah.
I have got pants on. I'm not joking. I said the reason I shut it. I've just got my short gym shorts on. Do you know what I mean? So I want everyone seeing. You know what I mean?
I'll put the link here.
Oh, nice.
That's the YouTube.
Well. Okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Give us you do your thing, G, but I'm still on this. It's all right. Little cameo, look.
Yeah, this is just the class show reel.
I love them illustrations.
Oh yeah, it was done by Nilesh as well.
Yeah, really nice. Really good, man. Like, and it, like, again, even just, you know what I mean, having the skill set to be able to bring this together is amazing, you know?
No, the film was put together by my classmate Nilesh, who did the illustration that you mentioned.
Solid, you know. These sounds never leave you as well. That sound, whenever you hear that in the future, you don't think of them student projects. We had Black Skinhead by Kanye on that old project, wasn't it? And even when I hear it now, I get shivers down. Like, oh God, I still remember them feelings, you know, mad.
We always look at that project because it's always on the corridor, and I go by and I'm like, damn, when do I do a project like that and win a D&AD?
Bless you. So it was sorry. So I got that wrong. So your classmate did. So there was a couple of you building everything. It wasn't just you on your own.
Yeah.
Building yourself.
So I did the branding, the website, the concept, everything. Just the show reel. My friend Nilesh helped me, right. And obviously the production of the mailers. We had a few of the classmates help us, like print stuff out, vinyl, fold the envelopes, run to the post office.
Oh, that's amazing. Nice.
Yeah.
So you're well into it now. So you've started at the chat. Thank you very much for sending them bits through as well and talking us through that.
No worries.
And again, it'll be great to do another one with you in, like, say 3-4 years time, maybe, if all's well.
Yeah.
Talk about industry that you and all the disruptive work you're putting out there in the fucking industry. You know what I mean? It's scaring everyone.
I actually have like a couple of projects from around 3 projects that I worked during my placement that I can put in my portfolio. We did like a Peppa Pig campaign, and so we went to Peppa Pig World for like 5 days in Southampton. We did like I was there I was there with the team since the pitch of the project, and so I was basically photographing the kids with their artwork and asking them to draw a Peppa Pig and like asking them a quote about Peppa, and like I did lots of animations for their sponsored ads for Peppa Pig. So there's so much, and like I did sponsored ads like that would come like quizzes for Peppa Pig. So like I did a lot of their social media as well. That was like great because it's really small team. You get to actually work on things. That's what I found when working in like a big agency. You're sometimes like assisting junior designers with the research and stuff. So that really helped me as well with Chase because it's a really super small team. I get to do a lot of stuff, especially like lots of animations with a lot of clients.
Yes, I'm sure you're keeping everyone firmly on the toes. Rightly so.
I'm trying.
Rightly so, and asked, rightly so. Yeah, great. All right, awesome. Well, like I said, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Michael, have you got any other questions that we've not spoken about?
No,
thank you to you guys actually.
Anas, what are you doing now?
Yeah. Nothing much.
Do you want to grab a coffee?
Yeah, sure.
Sick. All right, that's what we're doing.
I'll
be with you in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to postpone to this week because I could actually do it last week.
No, don't stress. I'm so happy you're here. Like it couldn't work any better.
Like work. Yeah, like
no, I actually wanted to show you my a lot of my projects from my final year I've not included here because I could show it. The only thing is I'm reworking on it and I'm thinking of actually pitching some of those projects to the actual people. Like I did a sunscreen project for Nike and it was called Nike Shield. And I thought, why don't I just rebrand Nike Shield? Because it's like a really pressed on idea. But, there's not a really branding for Nike Shield at the moment, like Air Max. Yeah. But I got a really cool idea. and I've been reworking on it, and I'm actually thinking to work much more and like
Anas, you don't
maybe
stop.
He does not stop. Making
We
us
could,
feel like-
probably do a podcast with you every week with the new shit that you're doing every fucking day. It's just endless.
I'll definitely share my portfolio after like it's done, like in the,
yeah,
the
I'd love to
website,
see
like
it.
next
Yeah,
month
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, definitely, Anas. We'll keep in touch. Keep in touch with us. Like I said, obviously, Michael will see you now for a coffee, but I'm sure I'll see you at some point on the circuit.
Yeah, for sure.
And stuff and whatever else. But like, congratulations again on everything. You smashed it.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much again for like giving me the opportunity to talk.
Oh, bro,
You're giving us the opportunity. Trust me.
You're giving us the opportunity. It's not the flip, bro. Trust me. Like we're blessed to have you, not the other way around.
Thank you.
Seriously, thank you very much, and you should be super proud of yourself, lad. And your parents your parents should be hella proud of you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, thank you very much for your time, Anas.
Thank you so much. Means a lot.
Bro. Lots and lots of love. Keep smashing it, bro. Love, bro.
See you soon.
Thank
See
you.
you soon, yeah.
Thank you, bro.
Awesome.
And you
Cheers,
can literally shut the lid. Right, go on. Lots of love. Speak to you soon, brother. Thank you.
Yeah. Meet you soon, Michael.
Thank you.
See you in a bit, man. Right, bro. I'm at home and I think I can hear children coming up the stairs.
Right, say no more, lads. That's great. Where are you?
Just at home.
No, but the kids gone out. Are you telling me background?
Yeah, they've gone out, but I can hear noise downstairs.
Yeah, sweet. Say nothing. George has just got here as well, so I'm gonna go have some fucky. I'm gonna go and enjoy a Sunday and not staple myself to a couch. So let's call it there. Thank you very much for your time, Michael.
No, thank you very much. And that was insane. That was really good. It was so inspiring on levels that I didn't expect it to be inspiring. Jesus Christ, he's a workhorse, isn't he?
It makes me feel lazy, and that says something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that does say something.
Do you know what I mean? Respectfully speaking, anyway. Right, lots and lots of love. If you are listening, thank you very much. We're going to keep growing, and again, thanks for making us the #1 creative podcast about. And we aim to keep that status. Please like, subscribe, share, like, and subscribe, and all of that in between stuff. And yeah, man, comment as well. Hit us up.
And thank you, Lewis, for sorting all that shit out.
All the
good stuff.
I love you, Lewis. Thank you, and thank you for your time, Michael. I will speak to you soon.
Nice
Lots of love. Peace out, people. Enjoy. Safe.